And good evening, everyone, and welcome back to BC Wrestle Pod, and specifically the Takedown Troop, your weekly TNA post show. And boy, howdy.
I've had a half a cup of coffee and an energy drink before we went live, so I'm feeling more awake than this crowd was.
Yeah. So we gonna get into all of it because this TNA was it felt like last week we had more legs to the show. This week felt like I feel like certain things should have been shown last week. I don't know. Maybe it was just me.
The whole thing felt like it was shot out of order. That I remember saying wait. The main event is Hardy's and Moose versus the System, followed by a Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth promo. That should have been the opener.
Seriously, I'm just like, what happened? Anywho,
it's just yeah, no, it's so yeah. Okay, but we need to address the elephants in the room, or should I say the elephants that have left the room.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that really quickly.
Yeah.
So y'all know the drill. We go live, social medias, shop, coffee, blah blah blah. But let's get into it because this conversation will probably take up a good chunk of the time, and the episode is going to be easy. So once again, just like last time we were here last week we talked about some of the talents that were granted their release.
Last week was Miley Grace and Steve Macklin.
Now, this week we have two people who were behind the scenes that have been let go. One of them we're going to get into detail though, because I have more new information. He went on a podcast and from his side, he told the podcast of how that conversation over Zoom went. So we're going to get into that. And we have another talent.
Zoom. That's rough.
That is. And the other one is another talent that requested and was secured their release, but she also spilled some tea on CMLL in the CMLL Informa program earlier this week about what really went down. So where should we start? Should we start with the behind the scenes people, or
let's start with the talent one, because the less airtime we have to give to her, the better.
Okay, so we'll make this quick. So we're gonna first, Will suggested, we're gonna talk about the talent that requested and granted their release, and that is Tessa Blanchard. Now, what made it interesting for her is that she hasn't been really doing much, and if anybody who has been a wrestling fan for at least the last 7 years at this point already knows everything that went down with her last time she was in TNA. We don't need to rehash that, but if you don't know, you can look it up. I will just say though, Chelsea Green is a girl's girl, and that is all I will say on that situation, because we love Chelsea Green in this household.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some conflicting reports coming out to it, saying, on one side of things, there were reports coming out that TNA told Tessa, because hey, either you're a full-time TNA wrestler or you're a full-time CMLL wrestler, you have to choose one. And so Tessa, according to the TNA side of things, Tessa chose CMLL, and thus, she was granted her release. Well, on Informa, which is like the interview program that airs once a week for CMLL, Tessa Blanchard was asked this question by our host, and this is what she said too. She said the same thing, but it made it sound like, sorry, let me back it up. So on the TNA side of things, they made it seem like CMLL was the one that put a gun to her head, so to speak, and make her choose. It was actually TNA who made that decision. And after giving it some thought, Tessa decided to choose CMLL because she has life down there. Her fiance is down there, who is also a wrestler in the company. And you know what? She has goals and aspirations in CMLL. So she, says, why not? I'm going to commit fully to CMLL. And, and she also says, I also get paid a little bit more down here too. So I was like, you know what? I ain't mad, girl. Get your coin.
Absolutely.
So But it seemed that TNA got caught with their pants down, so to speak, because they lied. I was like, that's not a great look, TNA. And then it continued because via Busted Open Radio earlier this week, we learned that Tommy Dreamer and TNA had parted ways, and he's nice about it. He didn't divulge too much information. So Tommy Dreamer is part of the booking and the creative team in TNA behind the scenes, and then he and TNA have parted ways, which translates into he was let go.
Yeah.
Which I was like, and Tommy Dreamer wasn't going to speak ill. I was like, don't burn bridges, all that good stuff. Now, this other one, though, I was like, he just let it all fly out. I'm like,
oh, did you expect anything else from him?
No, and I'm kind of glad. Listen, I want people to be happy, and I know business is business, but I also love it when we're messy. So,
Yep.
The other person from behind the scenes that was let go was, of course, Sami Callihan. So Sami Callihan retired from in-ring competition last year. And so then he was working behind the scenes doing stuff. And apparently, according to this podcast he was on, he did a lot. He helped with the booking. He helped with the writing. He did a lot of the ins and outs. He took on multiple jobs. And he was... So... This is how his day went from his perspective. And so I'm going to say allegedly, because this is from his report. And so we are just reporting what we have been told. So Sami Callihan began the morning being told that, hey, you know what? There's Tommy Dreamer is gone from TNA. There might be a new positioning opening up for you. Some of the talent were like, hey, Tommy's gone. So I know you've been trying to work to be creative full time. And so he's like, the talent were telling him, hey, we've heard some rumbling that they're going to meet with you, and they're like, okay, cool. So Sami Callihan woke up this morning, and he's like, oh, bet this might turn out to be. Then when he started to think about it, and then when he received the email of the Zoom call that he was going to be a part of, and then when he was in the Zoom call, he saw who was there, and he's like, wait a minute, these people aren't normally here. And then Sami put 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, I'm about to get fired. That is exactly what happened. They future endeavored our boy Sami Callihan, and he admitted, he asked questions. He may have also let a few explicits fly out, which understandably so, because this man gave his blood, sweat, and tears to this company, both as a performer and as a behind the scenes person. And Sami is just very disappointed. At the end of the day, he has processed through all his emotions. He's frustrated, he's angry, but more importantly than anything, he said that he was just disappointed. And he loves TNA, he believed in it, he wanted to do right by it, and right now he's just in the middle of, well, I mean, it's gonna hurt for a little bit, but once that's done and over with, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I was just like, TNA, this is insane. Like, what is happening? I know they're consolidating right now, but Sami Callihan, I was like, damn, y'all, what are we doing?
So, with all of that, yeah, it's get like I because Mikey, you and I were talking about it like just over Discord over the course of the week as the news was happening. It's like this is just getting depressing. Oh, and see, the real pièce de résistance of all of this is basically, and I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, or if this is still just a rumor or what have you, but evidently there's already some talks about who they're bringing in to take over for Tommy Dreamer. Road Dogg.
That has been the reports, and I know a lot of people are just like, well, okay, let me give you this side. So Road Dogg, longest time, was in WWE, part of the writing and creative and the booking team over in WWE. And I will just say this. I never truly thought Road Dogg was the problem with everything that has been happening with WWE in the last 2-3 years. But I will say that the Unreal documentary that WWE put out for season 2 made Road Dogg look like an incompetent fool, which was not the case, because then immediately, again, Chelsea Green, a woman of the peoples, she immediately came to Road Dogg's defense, and she's like, that's not how it went, and I don't appreciate y'all using what me and Road Dogg were talking about as a part of the discussion. because she also went off on her own, bosses, be like, that isn't she's like, y'all, that's not how the situation went when I was United States champion. So why are we even trying? Like, she completely was so not for it. But a lot of people, before the Unreal season 2 came out, a lot of people were blaming Road Dogg and even Hunter, because he doesn't get Triple H, because I'm disappointed in him. So Hunter, as well as some of the other higher ups in WWE and TKO, made Road Dogg out to be the scapegoat of why Raw and SmackDown were bad in terms of story and creative and booking. And then we come to find out, as soon as Road Dogg, quote unquote, resigns, because he's like, I'm not about to get fired because I got other things to think about. And then we come to find out, and it all comes flooding out like Road Dogg was not the issue. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just like,
well, here's the other thing about this. There's like,
right,
something stinks about this.
this is wild.
This is like call me a tinfoil hat if you must, but like, think about it. Hunter is in charge of WWE, the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels is in charge of
NXT.
Mm-hmm. Undertaker is in charge of AAA.
Mm-hmm.
All three of those guys are Vince goons.
Mm-hmm.
They are following his playbook to a T.
Mm-hmm.
And Road Dogg can't be far behind in that. You know? Like, don't get me wrong, of the members of D-Generation X, he's probably my favorite. But I also have to acknowledge that dude is kind of a Hunter crony.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, pair that with Carlos Silva taking an axe wherever he can, whenever he can, clearly. This is... And the partnership is still strong, even though we don't have any active NXT wrestlers in here at the moment.
Oh, but there were some rumblings that happened this morning too. And I'm just like, I smell a plot, because according to reports, TNA is looking to have a partnership with another independent federation that's out here in the United States. And so according to reports, TNA is looking to have a partnership with OVW. So
I heard about that.
Now, if you don't know about OVW, so like in the territorial days, OVW was like the hotbed, and that's where a lot of like the mid 2000s of wrestlers that are currently in the Fed were a part of. But also, like, WWE is also considered it a subsidiary.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets crazier, because according to reports, they wanted to work. TNA is looking at a working relationship with OVW, and OVW would be like their quote unquote NXT or developmental for TNA. And I'm just like, we don't need a developmental. We just need more people on this roster.
You need a roster. Oh God.
And this is off the back.
OVW isn't even really an indie. OVW is where WWE would send guys if they needed, more conditioning, if they were a little too green. Like Big Show. Like Big Show got sent to OVW shortly after he came over to WWE, because they're like, oh no, you need to we got to get you doing stuff better. I don't know.
I was like, there's nothing like concrete about that plan. There was just some rumblings. I was just like,
honestly, I was surprised to find out OVW still existed. I could have sworn they got folded into FCW and then turned into NXT.
Nope, OVW is still alive and kicking, surprisingly, to all of this. And that's where this is where some of the other like independent wrestlers that are now were in OVW, but now they're with NWA, or they're in other independent promotions. Like the veteran Jack Vaughn is one of them. Been following him forever. Then there's Russell Hamilton, the really big, gentlemanly, like mustache barred wrestler who I love dearly as well. But yeah, TNA needs a roster, and I was like, developmental, just have a partnership so you guys can have more people on this roster. Like, what are we doing?
Well, see, and I made a post about this on TikTok the other day, and this is kind of why I had this idea. I think we are on the precipice of an indie wrestling renaissance
Mm-hmm.
because people are clearly fed up with WWE's corporate shenanigans. And AEW has proven to the world that there's a market for more wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think we're going to be getting whatever local indie is near you is going to be getting a TV deal anytime soon. But I do think you are going to start seeing more engagement from particularly the internet wrestling community for the smaller companies like Maple Leaf and Major League Wrestling and oh my god, because the thing that sort of made me think about this was Sami Callihan getting axed from TNA because he posted something somewhere about working on his own promotion.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, Nikki Cross and
Big Damo, they
Big
are
Damo,
the new owners of Progress. Yeah,
exactly. So I think you're gonna see a boom of indie wrestling promotions, and on top of that, hearing some of the horror stories that people are saying, bringing out of their experiences with TNA, not only from people like Sami Callihan getting the axe, but also I don't even know how recent this story is, but I've only heard about it recently. Grado getting sent a picture of a check for his time in TNA. This is a guy who will probably never get on TV to any satisfying degree because half of his gimmick is his entrance and nobody wants to pay Madonna money.
unless you are Tony Khan.
I mean, Tony Khan might do it for a one-off, but
and because Grado has appeared on AEW television as a one-off, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna pay for this real quick.
We'll do this once."
I was like, love it. Well, okay, but kind of this is tangentially related to, but going to what you were saying about independent wrestling boom, because a lot of people are getting tired of WWE.
Right, they're getting
nonsense.
tired of WWE's shtick. TNA is clearly circling the drain, and AEW's roster is already a little too bloated. So you're going to see a lot of these people. I did a little research the other day and I've said a million times on this podcast, Dani Luna, one of my favorite wrestlers from TNA, and I looked up to see what she had been doing. Not much. She's taken a few indie dates, but from the sounds of it, she's just kind of doubling down, focusing on herself, not trying to work on getting to another big promotion or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think I think that's smart of her because WWE would clearly just chew her up and spit her out.
Mm-hmm.
AEW has too many people already, and TNA clearly didn't want something went wrong with TNA for her. So get her to Progress, get her to Rev Pro, get her to if you want to keep her in the UK anyway, that's get her Progress, Rev Pro, send her over to WXW in Germany. That's Germany, right?
Yeah, WXW is Germany. Shoot, I would send her also to Eve too in the UK, which is
absolutely
co-owned by Will Ospreay. So and I mean, AEW has already been and is continuing to send some of their girls over to the Eve shows. This upcoming one next week, we're gonna have Sky Blue have a match in Eve against Emerson Jane. So that's gonna be fun. And then you know what? It would be perfect for Dani Luna to come in at this point too, because we have we have a former WWE Women's UK champion when her, after being let go from the company. We have Kaylee Ray back in Eve in the British UK wrestling. I was like, I love you, Kaylee Ray. So happy to see her.
So yeah, and I think it's because you're gonna see there's going to be someone else. There's going to be another third option.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be another third big promotion, and it's not going to be TNA.
Mm-mm.
Like, honestly, I think there would be a certain poetic justice if it ended up being Maple Leaf. Scott Demore just sitting there going like, "Oh, you're gonna give me the axe? Fuck you! I'm gonna make another company big."
Well, the funny thing is that Danny Luna has been reported to be at some of the TV tapings that happened last weekend too at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. So she was there for because they did 2 nights. They did the TNA model, like Scott Demore continues to follow it. They had 2 nights of tapings, and I believe that this is going to be like 6 weeks of programming, and then they'll have another set of tapings in August. So I was just like, heck yeah,
yeah.
So I would love
yeah,
mm-hmm.
But no, TNA is it's circling the drain. It's
like, dang ya.
Yeah, someone has hit the flush. I honestly at this point, because they've all put it this way, they've already booked the dates for Lockdown and Bound for Glory this year.
Mm-hmm.
I would be really unless Slammiversary rolls around and there's like a major surprise, like one of the people that just got let go from WWE, major surprise signing for one of them showing and when I say major surprise, it would need to be like Kofi Kingston shows up and be like, nope, I'm here in TNA now. It's like, okay, maybe they are trying to pump some life into this. But Fabian Eichner does not count.
No, and that's the other thing too. Listen, I know we crack on Fabian, but last week they announced he signed, and then the last 24 hours, Ali has officially signed with TNA, and then Trey Miguel has re-signed with the company, and Tasha Steelz has also re-signed with TNA as well. So that is all else that came out this week, which I was just like, I want to be happy for them, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah, we've all been stuck at bullshit jobs that we didn't like, but we had to keep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that has been all the TNA nonsense this week.
And to my boss, who is absolutely watching this because I just said that, hi.
Your boss doesn't know this exists unless you explicitly tell him. And it's not because of you. I was just like, your boss would have to have some sort of niche desire to watch you and your random friend on the internet talk about wrestling. I mean, who knows? But you're fine.
Yeah. Anyway, let's we actually have an episode of wrestling to talk about.
Do we though? I mean, we do.
Sort of. How much we'll have to say about it is up in the air, but
I feel like we're stuck in neutral because it's like we know all the like last week was better because they announced the rest of the card for Slammiversary, and then it's just like, don't forget Slammiversary.
You know what? I think you know what it is. I think they listened to us a little too closely. Remember how all of the times that we have said, like, oh, they're booking the match for the next pay-per-view like the day before the pay-per-view, like with zero build. Now it's just all build. It's like we finished our homework 3 weeks ago, guys. Aren't you proud of us? It's like, no, now we have nothing to fucking watch.
I was like, that's cool and everything, but we need to have things make it make sense, bestie. Like when we get to our main event match, I was like, make it make sense because the Hardys quote unquote died after the Wicked Garden match, and then magically they're back. I'm just like, oh my goodness. We'll get into that. Also, Moose, never wear that again. I was like, it does not fit you, boo boo. Love you, but no. But all right, let's get into this TNA episode because we do got an episode to talk about. And don't worry, we'll probably be back next week to start the episode with more shenanigans. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Let's kick things off though. Zaya Brookside cuts a promo in the ring again. It's the same thing that we've been hearing when we started this feud with her and Lei Lee. Lei Lee also, she interrupts. They get into a brawl. Apparently, she chipped a tooth somewhere along the way, according to the injury report. I don't know how quote.
I think the injury report's just making shit up at this
point.
I
was like, because I'm like, I rewatched it. I was like, there is no way in hell.
Okay, TNA, you don't have enough people on your roster to be injured. You don't have to make shit up on the injury report if you don't have anyone injured. That is time hear me out on this. That is time that you could do to put on a, this is going to be a bold idea, cutting edge of sports entertainment programming. A wrestling match.
That doesn't involve the Hardys. That's insane. Like, okay, when we get to a certain match, I was just like, I don't know why it's here, but like we could have more of these matches if you're looking to at least get people to have their reps in. But yeah, this is setting everything up. Like Laying Lee and Zaya Brookside fight. Laying Lee stands tall at the end of this. I was like, I get the sneaky suspicion that there is a possibility that Zaya Brookside might walk out of Slammiversary as champion.
This whole episode felt like Groundhog Day. It's like, I've seen this episode before. It's a different order. Like they edited it differently so that it's a different order of the same things happening. But no, this is Groundhog Day.
It really is. It's things that we have seen in previous weeks, or like this thing right here. This is things we saw like 5 times in this single episode.
Oh.
Now, this is before the match. So Casey and Mike Santana are talking, and Casey's like, I need you and Nick to be on the same page because we got to take care of Order 4. So I need y'all to get it together for one match.
So explain it to me like I'm 5. All right.
Okay.
Why was this match the opener?
That is a good question. And well, honey, let me tell you something. Since we're explaining it,
this should have been the main event.
In all honesty, it was. And let me tell you, they didn't.
The opening match was the main event. That is, Mikey, I'm not sure if you intended it to be, but that is the shadiest thing I have ever heard you say. That is the sickest burn I have ever heard you utter. And it was a master. That is, oh, that's so good.
Thank you. That is my time. That is the greatest achievement I will ever achieve in this podcast right here. No, but tell me I'm wrong. Like, I'm being so for real. Because, okay, right? Because the way that we built this up, because we fast forwarding to the end of the show, we end the show with Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth, getting on the mic chain, jabs at each other. We told this story in the wrong order. Listen, as a teacher, sequencing the events of a story is a 2nd grade level skill. And TNA failed the assignment because they told their stories out of order, and the flow was just all over the place.
And TNA, okay. You are not Quentin Tarantino. You cannot Quentin Tarantino pro wrestling, okay? Pro wrestling, in the words of Super Eye Patch Wolf, paraphrasing a little bit, professional wrestling is a unique artistic medium in the sense that it is, by its nature, it has to happen in real time. You can't hop around. You can't have flashbacks. You can do video packages to like remind people, previously on, but you can't Tarantino this shit.
They can't. They tried, but ultimately they failed because we just I was like, how is this not the main event? We went through like 2.5 commercial breaks. Like, this was the longest match of the night. And I was like, why is this not the main event?
And okay, making this not the main event is doubly insulting. Because number one, you've got the two guys fighting for the world championship on your next major pay-per-view in the opener. And you have your international. What's the name of it? International. You have your international champion and his stable acting as fucking jobbers.
That's insane to me.
There's no reason for them to be facing Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth.
No.
I know Ali's got a thing going with Casey Navarro right now, but there's no reason for the Great Hands to be there except to pad out the numbers.
I was just like, we could have just had a tag team match with the Great Hands and Casey Navarro, and hell, let's get the hometown man in here for right now. Like,
no. You could have had a tag team match. Like, if you wanted to do that, you could have had a tag team match that's just Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth versus the Great Hands.
Yes, that could have been it. That's all we needed. Because then, Ali and Casey can still be beefing for a little bit, but Casey gonna be busy with something else at Slammiversary, which we're gonna get into a little bit.
Or you make this a fatal 4-way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I get it. The great, you're only making the stable of your international champion look like chumps.
Mm-hmm.
And in a company whose tag team scene is as dog shit as TNA's is, you need more better tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's nuts. It's just nuts. Like the failure of booking on this on so many levels.
It's insane because again, you have Order Ford lose to Mike Santana and which is fine.
Can I just say, I also credit where it's due. I do want to offer one major point of credit, and this is actually going to go to Order 4.
Mm-hmm.
That 3-way tag finisher they have, the alley-oop powerbomb thing that they were doing, do that more.
Yes.
More of that, please. More of that. That was brilliant. Okay? Like I'm sitting here on I watched this at work today. I spent my lunch break thinking, what could you name that? What could you name that move? Like, you could call it an airstrike. If your whole thing is you're a politician, like you're this, politician, like taking over the world, Lex Luthor type, you're calling it an airstrike.
Mm-hmm.
That was a brilliant, like, especially as someone who has survived the Shield era of WWE, and as such, the idea of a triple powerbomb is like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. That
is cool.
Do that more. That was really cool.
Now, like we said, Mike Santana, Nick Nemeth, and Casey Navarro win this match. There were some things that happened after the match, though. Nick and Mike got in each other's faces. Mike accidentally hits Casey, which leads to, this backstage yelling match and argument.
So more of what we had before the match.
I was just like, what is this? And then, we're done with them for now. And I was just like, okay, we're going to see how this goes out. All right. Apparently we put Nick and Mike and Casey in the first 35 minutes of the show. Now we got an hour and a half left over. I'm like, oh wait, this was not the main event. We still got a good chunk of time for this show. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a slugfest, isn't it? It's going to be a slogger to get through.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how I felt, though. Let's keep going, though. This, Cedric Alexander, you're at a 10. I need you to take it to a 5.
Yeah.
We were chewing the scenery, my guy. I love you. And I thought it was hilarious. But I was like, bro, we need to stop yelling in the mic.
You watched a bunch of Nick Cage movies this week, didn't you, Ced?
Oh my gosh. It was insane. But this King's Speech was whack. We could have we didn't even need Frankie Kazarian. The only reason he was there to announce that he is in the Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. We could have just had Leon and Cedric Alexander just be beefing and on the microphone with each other. I was just like, y'all are in Ultimate X. You could just fight. It's fine. But this King's Speech was whack.
Yeah.
I was just here to get Frankie Kazarian announcing that he is in the Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship at Slammiversary. I was like, damn, Maxine Waters, you wasted my time that I'm never going to get back. But yeah, Cedric, love you. But
I've nothing else to add for this. This was just Cedric, dial back on the Nick Cage a little bit. And
love you.
Love Nick Cage, but love Cedric Alexander. But
I need you to not yell in the microphone.
This
That's
is,
all I want.
Cedric Alexander standing over here like Nigel Tufnell going like, but these goes to 11.
Oh man. Listen, Cedric, I'm not gonna lie. This was a bad segment, but you made it entertaining. I actually got a kick out of it. I was like, darn it, Cedric, this is bad, but thank you for making me chuckle. Anyways. I cannot believe we actually did this for AJ. I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. This is stupid, but this is beautiful.
I was sports entertained. It's
yes.
That's
as we've come to learn to say here in TNA, we were sports entertained.
Yep.
It
was dumb as hell, but I was sports entertained.
I'm just sitting here. I was just like, oh, dang, AJ, we brought back the VH1 MTV.
Well, and even saying that he wants to be like Suge Knight. It's like, it's like Suge Knight doesn't want to be like Suge Knight, man.
I was just like, where he at? Where he at now?
Yeah, right?
Oh, my goodness. But yes, we were dumb, but we were sports entertained.
Yep.
Listen. Thankfully, Ricky Sosa's visa issues were fixed. Thank you for that, because it's not his fault that he has been missing from our screen for a little bit. And I'm going to be honest, if TNA would give us more matches like that, where we essentially have tune-up matches to showcase the talent on your roster, because that's essentially what it was. So I was just like, okay, Ricky, I see you.
Okay, but here's the thing. They need to limit it to one.
Yes.
Just one highlight squash jobber match, and not like half a dozen Elena Black.
Oh Lord, we gonna get to her.
Yeah, no, this was fine. Against legally distinct from Joey Ryan. Hey, the mustache and the Technicolor trunks. I'm like, he reminds me of somebody.
And I was just like, why do I want to punch his face?
Right? Yeah.
I was like, so I mean, this is to get Ricky ready. I mean, because he has, as we were told multiple times throughout the night, Ricky Sosa is having his first TNA pay-per-view match at Slammiversary. Like, I heard you the first 15 times.
Guys, we did our homework already. Yeah, I know.
Speaking of commentary, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the Santana, Nemeth, and Casey Navarro versus Order 4 match. TNA editing, y'all missed this because commentary said, guys, welcome to the main event. I'm like, bitch, where? Like, Tom Hannafan said, it's just like, welcome to the main event, you guys. I'm like, where? This is the beginning of the show. Like, oops.
Yeah, that somebody fucked up editing.
Somebody did it on purpose. Like, they're like, but no, I agree with you. This should have been the main event, but it's not.
Yeah.
All right, but Ricky Sosa wins. Him and Eric Young are going to be fighting at Slammiversary. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Daria is me. I love you, girl.
This. All right, so spoiler territory. They have announced everybody that's doing Ultimate X, right?
Which will show the graphic later once we get to Santino to getting the last 2 spots filled.
Mr. Elegance?
Of all people.
Fucking really?
You know what? Let me just fast forward. I'm gonna just pull the graphic up now so we can talk about it, because like, when I saw this final graphic, Will, I'm not even going front. Like, this is like, so this is the final graphic. And
so Amazing Red is in it.
Yes,
because they didn't mention that on the air.
They didn't, but then on the later in social media today, they're like, Amazing Red is in this match, which I figured he would. I was like, y'all like missed the mark with that one. But
see, like, that's talk about burying the lead, okay? Like, because I was rip shit at this. It's like, last week you made a big deal about Amazing Red coming back. Oh, and we haven't announced everybody else that's going to be in the Ultimate X match. It's like, so I'm sitting here going like, oh, so yeah, Amazing Red's going to be one of the things. And when I'm doing this episode. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to give spots to Casey Navarro. Okay, that makes sense. I kind of wish he'd actually go against Mustafa Ali instead to keep that feud going, but whatever. And Fabian Eichner. Okay, I suppose that's not okay. So that's 6, right? Because yeah, with Amazing Red and Mr. Elegant.
Excuse me. So, yes. So here's the thing. When I saw this graphic, when I was getting all the slides together for the show, and then I was like, I'm gonna put this graphic in. I looked at this, and I was like, I know TNA has had some really rough periods. And I'm just looking at this Ultimate X though. I'm just like, this is a sad ass lineup. Not to the fault of the talent, but like this is a sad ass lineup because let me tell you, the last Ultimate X we had was last year in April at Rebellion. How do I know this? Because, well, one, I watched the pay per view, but number two, I was there live. And let me tell you, last year's lineup, you had Moose, because of course at that time he was X Division champion, Leon Slater. You had Sidney Akeem. Love Sidney. He's great. The Kingo was in that match, as Casey was also in that match. And then I'm trying to remember who the 6th spot went to. Oh, I think it was Trey Miguel. Like, I was like, that was a fantastic lineup. Everybody was throwing all stuff. I look at this and I was just like, okay, Leon, Cedric. I'm going to be honest, Casey, I think those 3 are going to do really great. Amazing Red is amazing. No,
like, and honestly, I'll even give it to Frankie because if you're putting 6 people in a thing, you need more than one heel, you know, like more than one guy that's just out for himself. And Frankie fills that role, you know, like am I a fan of his? No, but I'll give he gets a spot here.
He was in the first Ultimate X match, and he's been in the most compared to everybody else, which I was like, you know what? He's a vet of this. He knows how to do this. Those 5 make sense. But then I look at the other end where I look at Fabian. I was like, you just got here, but it's whatever. You're just here to fill the role. But Mr. Elegance, are we kidding me? That's the one I was just like, okay, TNA, what are we doing?
Okay. You want to, okay. Get rid of Timo Claudio Castagnoli. Get rid of Mr. Elephants. No, Mr. Irrelevance. That's I'm not going to steal Marky D's name for him. I'm going to call him Mr. Irrelevance. Guys, you have 2 wrestlers that would be perfect for this kind of a match if you wanted to up the stakes for Casey Navarro. Casey Navarro don't get me wrong, he's earned a spot here for his performance, but he's not really doing much storyline wise. Why wouldn't you just put in AJ Francis and Mustafa Ali into this match?
AJ makes sense. Now, they also haven't done a good job for Ali, but all the championships will be defended at Slammiversary is what we have been told. So Ali will be having an open challenge match. So I have no idea who's about to walk through that door.
Yeah, that what, like I said, that like if that's going to be one of those like former WWE folks that recently got released and like, God, who could it be? Like of the people that got released.
I'm trying to think if I were to see now. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. You know what would be fun? If they were allowed to at least bring a similar gimmick from WWE, have Mustafa Ali defend it against Bo Dallas. Maybe. I mean, obviously, he would not legally be able to use the name Uncle Howdy, but bring that same kind of like Wyatt Six energy to this, you know.
That could,
or at least if you've, or hell, bring the whole Wyatt. I mean, obviously not Nikki Cross because she's over in
Progress and she's doing that.
Yeah, but like hell, if you've got Order 4 in the corner, bring the Wyatt 6 to the other corner. We are very serious and government agents versus like we are insane and we have the ghost of Bray Wyatt at our backs.
Amazing. So we'll see what happens because Ali has gone on record saying that, this international championship he wants to defeat wrestlers from around the world. I was like, I don't know how visa issues are going to be, but we'll see, Ali. We'll see. I'm hoping you get someone good. But anyways, yeah, so this segment, we got Mr. Elegance in here. Daria is so unimpressed. And I'm like, Daria, girl, me too.
Yeah.
All right, hold up. Hang on. Everybody get their devil horns ready. Be like, this match was not good. This sucked. One, it was hella short. I wasn't expecting it to go 15 minutes, but damn. And then also, like, at the end of this match, I was just like, I don't know why I asked this question, but what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, I was like, it was just like, you have Lady Lee and Zaya Brookside fighting over the title right now. Rosemary and the Elegance girls are going to be going at it at Slammiversary. So that just leaves the rest of the women's division doing nothing. And it seems like we're heading towards some sort of Indian Ash by Elegance feud. I was just like, who's writing this?
I cannot tell you how whelmed I was with this match. To borrow the phrase from Young Justice, I was whelmed.
I was just whelmed. Yeah. Anyways, it's sad, but Indy wins. Moving on. This is where Santino adds Fabian and Casey Navarro into the match. So we already talked about the lineup. I thought we were done, but oh no, Mike Santana said he gonna have some words for Nick Nemeth at the end of the show. I'm like, damn it.
We had 4 Mike Santana yells at the camera segments in this episode.
For real. So I was just like, we only needed one. It's okay, guys.
Yeah.
And Mike, this is not your fault. I want you and the rest of the world to know I'm not blaming the talent. I'm blaming creative and booking and everything behind the scenes, or what's left of there, anyways.
What's left of it, yeah. Although,
well, to be fair, all of them was filmed. This was all filmed before everything transpired.
Yeah, I was going to say Tommy Dreamer's name was still on the credits of this episode. So,
also shout out to Steve Backlund. He showed up at Hog Wrestling like the other week too. So it's just like, and he had me dying of laughter because he yelled at the camera. I was just like, this is what happens when I told that cuck to sit in his chair.
Please, Steve Macklin, if you're watching, please make that your new gimmick.
Please. Also, since you're not signed and if you don't have an NDA, like, you should come on this channel. Let's talk. Because it is great.
He needs to start. He needs to start coming to the ring with a steel chair, just to give someone to sit in it,
and just have the word "cuck" on it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. So yeah, words with Mike Santana later. This was your actual main event, and I was just like, why?
Bullshit.
I was like, why? Moose, love you down. But I was just like, the Broken Hardy outfit does not look great on you.
Also, cutting from Moose's entrance back into the Broken Hardy entrance.
Whack.
That's like, it's that moment, like, you see it, like, I know why they did it. It's to get the laugh. It's like any DJ, whoever, programs like a random sound effect right before the drop.
But
like it's always like those weirdest ones. It's the build up, and then you just hear these nuts. Got him. And then you get the drop.
Sidebar: there is a DJ content creator on TikTok that does this. This is like the most red. It's like that one DJ who has the most craziest like bits before the drops, and he was playing one of this song, and then before the drop, it's just like all we have in a British accent. You just hear all we have to do is keep our pants on, and then it drops. I was like, what is happening? But that's exactly what that felt like. I agree.
That's what this match felt like too.
I'm not gonna lie. Listen, just as a quick, PSA, I live in the state of Southern California. There is a certain plant that is legal in certain, in this state. I was not on said legal things, but I felt like I was like watching this high. Like I was like, what is this?
Okay, this match was like, to use the prior example of the weird sound effect before the drop.
Mm-hmm.
This match was like the buildup of an EDM song. The entrance with the Hardy and Moose, crossover entrance, that was the weird sound effect. And the match that followed was the DJ following up that drop with Rick Astley.
Nah, and okay, here's the other thing too. Like, we saw the Hardys metaphorically die and bamf out of existence after the Wicked Garden match. And now they're just perfectly fine. Like, nothing happened. Jeff Hardy is not dead after getting that flower shoved in his mouth. Yes, that is the thing that happened. That is not hyperbole. And like him, like having a whole like seize attack in the middle of that match. And they're fine. Like, they're wrestling back again. I was just like, make it make sense, TNA. Make it make sense. You should have kept the Hardys off TV until Slammiversary. But you know what? They're here. Due to like the non-existent distraction of the Righteous just chilling on a ladder on top of the stage, is enough to distract the Moose and the Hardys to allow the System to pick up the victory. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. The System is in a triple threat ladder match at Slammiversary. I was like, you couldn't tell because of the way that we've been handling these things.
I didn't forget, unfortunately.
Will is my elephant. He will never forget. Oh, that sounded bad. I am so sorry.
That's all right. It's a curse.
No. But Danhausen, I need you to come uncurse us, because I feel like, what are we doing? Danhausen, I need you to come uncurse us, because what is this? This match was now, had this opened the show, I would still like took a dunk on this, but I was like, 100%. But it makes sense. But no, this was the main event. I'm like, why? Especially with what we ended. I don't know. The System wins. And then I'm like, okay, show's over. And then I was reminded Mike Santana's going to speak next. I'm like, bitch, we got 2 minutes. What you mean?
What are you going to say that you haven't already said 3 times this episode? Oh, listen, bitch, a whole bunch. It's
this, again, TNA unit F in terms of like sequencing, which is a 2nd grade level skill, because we told the whole entire episode with Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth, we told these events out of order. This is what should have opened the show. Mm-hmm. Then we should have gotten the Hardys and Moose versus the System as our first match. Then all the other stuff we got with Casey and Mike and Nick should have been in the middle. And then you have Mike and Nick and Casey's match at the end, where you end with Mike Santana accidentally spinning the block on Casey Navarro. And that's how you should have went off the air. I've been like, compelling stuff, TNA. But no, that is not what happened. We just got Mike Santana calling Nick Nemeth a bitch and Ryan Nemeth a bitch, which I was like, Nick, I don't think has deserved it. Ryan, absolutely.
calling Nick a bitch. Oh no, calling Ryan a bitch. Yeah, and also water is wet.
That tracks. And then Nick Nemeth is like, literally, he's just like, I'm gonna take this title and make Mike Santana disappear. I'm like, that contract about to make that man disappear when it goes up. We'll see. I don't know, Mike. I love you, but you know what? You're a grown man. You make your own decisions. I'm not going to tell you which way. I'm going to support you either way. But I would start figuring some things out right now.
and don't go to WWE. They will chew you up, spit you out, and you'll be released in 9 months.
Michael Santana, if there's one thing that you should not do, please don't go to WWE, because we have a fake luchador be the most over Latin superstar in that company right now. And that man is not even Latin. Anywho, but that was TNA this week. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Next week is the go home show, guys. I just want y'all to remember that.
And it's going to be the same as what we just watched.
Yep.
There might be we might have an Undead Realm match instead.
The craziest thing for Slammiversary, the match I'm looking forward to the most, surprisingly enough, is the Undead Realm girls versus the Elegance girls for those titles. That's the only.
So
match.
here's the funny thing though. Last week we had the Undead Realm girls versus the Elegance brand.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they going to face next week?
I don't know.
What other tag team is in the Knockouts division that the Undead Realm could possibly face?
Well, I haven't heard. I mean, even though she's gone in the company, you have the Diamond Collective.
I'm trying to, because I know it's Crawford and
it's Crawford, Mila Moore, and
Mila Moore. Thank you.
At the time of this recording, it's Tessa Blanchard too.
Well, we'll see if they let that go to air with her current current status. But
no, we had to break up Spitfire, which was Danny Luna and Jody Dredd.
No, I remember. We had to break up Spitfire, and we had to get rid of Miley Grace, who was the other half of
the tag team with Harley Hudson. I don't know. It was like, and I know they weren't great, but I was just like, I guess it just depends on the environment that you're in, because the Inspiration are kind of killing it in TJPW right now. They won the tag titles in TJPW, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
That's where Maki Ito originally was from before she came and signed with Stardom recently. And that's where TJPW is also where we get a lot of the more comedic wrestling. Like, if you have seen the Instagram pictures of one of their wrestlers fighting a giant inflatable kaiju panda bear, and she won with her finish. She used the finisher, but she had like one of those ginormous like squeaky hammers to win the match.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I did see that one. Yep.
So, and that is also where TJPW also has a lot of like mixed matches with some of the talent from DDT Pro Wrestling too. So like Zack Sabre Jr.'s boyfriend, Chris Brooks is there. Again, DDT, we also get a lot of the comedy stuff. Like, I literally watched someone get ran over with a car. It was hilarious. But yeah, so no, the Inspiration Girls are kind of killing it in TJPW. They're also in Ring of Honor, so they hop from there to there. So they're doing great stuff. But yeah, go home show for TNA. So next Friday, we'll be reviewing the TNA episode. And we'll also be making our predictions for Slammiversary. We won't be doing a watch along because there are like 5 pay-per-views that they decided they all wanted to be on the same day on a Sunday. And we're only doing a watch along for one. And I decided we're doing a watch along for Forbidden Door. Which again,
the right choice.
Yes, exactly. Well, especially because of the matches that we're getting. And some people are like, there's not enough crossover. I was like, guys, it is 2026 here in a certain Orange Cheetos America. I was like, these visas are hard right now.
Yep.
A lot of our talent in AEW are struggling to get back here, not because they don't want to, but because the climate is making it hard for them to return even on a work visa. But the matches we do have are going to be great. Like Mark Briscoe's going to bleed. It's going to be fantastic in that 6-on-6 cage match. Darby's probably going to die again for the 80,000th time. I'm very interested to see how Cope and Cage go up against the Dogs for the tag titles, which was officially made. I am going to say, though, Swerve and Ospreay, that match going to eat. That match go off. And then, because the internet spoiled some stuff for me, but I'm also excited. It's going to be some good stuff. I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun one. And I'm very interested to see who Mercedes faces in the final of the Owen at Forbidden Door. It's either going to be Maya World or it's going to be the Fallen Goddess Athena. But I'm like, Black Excellence. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Also, speaking of Black Excellence, happy Juneteenth, y'all. I forgot to say it at the beginning of the show, but we here at BC Wrestle Pod stand with all of our brothers and sisters and all the marginalized group. So happy Juneteenth. And yes, the colors are red, white, and blue. Though the patterns of the traditional garb of Africa, and this is from a friend of mine that told me this, The colors of Juneteenth are red, white, and blue, so let's not get it twisted. But yes, that is going to be it for us here tonight. Will and I will be back next Friday, hopefully, to talk about the Go Home show, probably dunk on some more TNA. We'll probably have more news to talk about because Lord knows at this point it's just a weekly occurrence.
Money's on Elijah.
Probably. Lord help us. But yeah, so that is going to be us next Friday. But next week is the final week before I go on vacation. And we have a pretty fun week next week. Monday, we are going to talk about some things that we actually like because we're going to be talking about Ring of Honor's Global Wars, which saw the stars of Ring of Honor, CMLL, and Stardom cross over with each other. We had some really cool matches, some really fun stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then, of course, our regular shows of AEW on Tuesday, which is also another go-home show, as we will be making predictions for Forbidden Door, at least at the time of that recording. And then Tony Khan will add like 20 more matches as the week goes on. Tony, I love you, but like 5 hours, it's like my butt cheeks are sore. By the end of it, I was like, it's a long sitting, y'all. Tuesday, we have, that's Tuesday. Wednesday is NXT and CMLL. And then we will have TNA on Friday. So it's going to be some good stuff. We're going to have a good time and, some good vibes. It's going to be fun, at least. We're going to entertain y'all. But from all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you Monday for Global Wars. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.